Good morning, champions. Let me ask you something. How many days have you wasted waiting for the perfect time, waiting for the right mood, waiting for life to hand you something on a silver platter? The truth is, you don't have time to wait. Time is the only thing you will never get back. Every day is either pushing you forward or pulling you back. And the best part, you get to decide which one it is. Success isn't about one big breakthrough. It's about what you do every single day, the little habits, the small decisions, the moments when nobody's watching. That's where your future is built. Time is the most valuable asset you will ever have. Unlike money, property, or material possessions, time is the one resource that can never be replaced, never be regained, and never be bought back. Once a second passes, it's gone forever. Yet most people live as if they have all the time in the world. They waste it on meaningless distractions, delay their dreams, and push their goals to someday without realizing that someday is not guaranteed. The reality is, your entire life is built on how you use your time. Every successful person, every high achiever, every individual who has created an extraordinary life has understood one simple truth. Time must be treated with urgency and intention. The difference between someone who thrives and someone who struggles isn't talent, luck, or background. It's how they choose to spend their time. If you use your time wisely, if you dedicate yourself to learning, growing, and taking action, you will create a life of impact. If you waste it on distractions, procrastination, and fear, you will find yourself looking back with regret. Think about it. How often do you hear people say, "I don't have time"? The truth is, time isn't the issue. Everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. The real problem is how people manage it. They say they don't have time to work on their health, yet they spend hours scrolling through social media. They say they don't have time to start that business, yet they binge watch shows for hours. They say they don't have time to invest in their dreams, yet they waste it on things that add no value to their lives. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who find time, they are the ones who make time. They cut out distractions. They focus on what matters. They create routines and habits that move them forward instead of keeping them stuck. They understand that every minute spent wisely is a step closer to their vision, while every minute wasted is a step further away from it. Most people think time is abundant, but nothing is more uncertain than how much of it you have left. You don't control when your time runs out. You don't get a second chance to relive today. The only thing you can control is what you do with the time you have right now. The person you want to become, the life you dream of, the success you desire, it's all built in the moments you have today. So the question is, are you using your time or are you letting it slip away? Are you being intentional with your days or are you watching them pass by? Because at the end of it all, your success, your happiness, your fulfillment, it won't be determined by luck or circumstance. It will be determined by how you chose to use the time you were given. Make it count. Success isn't built overnight. It's not the result of one big life-changing event, but rather the accumulation of small, consistent actions taken every single day. The most powerful forces in life, growth, improvement, mastery, are all based on the principle of compounding. What may seem insignificant in the moment, when repeated consistently, can create massive, life-altering results over time. Yet, most people overlook the small things because they don't see immediate impact. They assume that if something doesn't produce instant results, it must not matter. But that's where they're wrong. The small things you do daily shape your habits, your mindset, and ultimately your destiny. Take fitness as an example. If someone goes to the gym for one day and doesn't see visible results, they might think it didn't work. But if they commit to going every day, even if it's just for 30 minutes, over weeks and months, their body transforms. The same applies to learning. Reading 10 pages of a book in one sitting may not seem like much, but doing it every day for a year means you've read over 3,600 pages, enough to complete multiple books and expand your knowledge in ways you never imagined. The problem is most people either underestimate the power of small actions or they give up too soon. They expect massive success to come from massive actions, not realizing that the true key lies in consistency. It's not about doing one huge, overwhelming thing all at once. It's about doing small, meaningful things consistently over time. It's about taking control of your habits, your mindset, and your discipline in a way that compounds in your favor. Look at some of the greatest successes in history. Athletes, entrepreneurs, artists. They didn't wake up one day and suddenly become the best. They dedicated themselves to small, daily improvements. They practiced when no one was watching. They refined their skills bit by bit. They understood that progress isn't always noticeable in the short term, but over time, it becomes undeniable. The same principle applies to failure. People don't ruin their lives in a single moment. It happens gradually. Small bad habits repeated daily, small excuses made over and over again, small moments of procrastination that accumulate until one day they look back and wonder where it all went wrong. Just as small, positive actions can lead to massive success, small negative actions can lead to massive regret. So what does this mean for you? It means that every single choice you make matters. Every decision, no matter how small, is either working for you or against you. Every habit is either pushing you closer to your goals or pulling you further away. The secret to success isn't found in some big dramatic breakthrough. It's found in the small things you do daily, the discipline to keep going, the commitment to stay consistent, and the belief that no action is too small to make a difference. Because over time, those small actions will lead to results bigger than you ever imagined. Excuses are the silent killers of dreams. They creep in unnoticed, disguised as valid reasons, convincing you that waiting is the right choice, that conditions aren't perfect, that you need more time, more resources, or more confidence before you take action. But the truth is, excuses don't protect you. They imprison you. Every time you make an excuse, you trade progress for comfort. You give away your power, your potential, and your future in exchange for temporary relief from fear, effort, or responsibility. The most dangerous thing about excuses is how convincing they sound. I don't have time. I'm not ready yet. I don't have the right connections. I'll start tomorrow. These statements feel reasonable in the moment, but they are nothing more than limitations you place on yourself. The most successful people in the world didn't wait until conditions were perfect. They started with what they had, where they were, and figured it out along the way. They refused to let excuses steal their potential. Think about the last time you put something off because of an excuse. Maybe it was a new fitness routine, a business idea, a personal goal. Did delaying it make it easier? Did waiting make you feel better? Or did it just keep you stuck, frustrated, and unfulfilled? Excuses don't remove the problem. They prolong it. The time you spend justifying why you can't do something is time you could be using to make it happen. Excuses also weaken your mindset. Every time you choose an excuse over action, you reinforce a habit of avoidance. You train your brain to seek comfort over growth, to settle instead of push forward. Over time, this becomes your default response to challenges. You stop believing in your own ability to change your circumstances because you've conditioned yourself to find reasons why you can't. The longer you live in this cycle, the harder it becomes to break free. Look at the people who have achieved greatness. They faced the same obstacles, fears, and doubts as everyone else, but instead of making excuses, they made adjustments. They didn't wait for motivation, they created discipline. They didn't complain about the challenges, they found solutions. They understood that every moment spent making an excuse was a moment stolen from their potential. The truth is, life will never hand you the perfect conditions. You will never feel 100% ready. There will always be obstacles, challenges, and setbacks. But success isn't about avoiding these things, it's about pushing through them. The only difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the decision to act despite the excuses. Every time you catch yourself making an excuse, ask yourself, is this truly a limitation, or is it a lie I'm telling myself to stay comfortable? Because in the end, your future is built by your actions, not your excuses. You can either let excuses steal your potential, or you can take control and create the life you were meant to live. The choice is yours. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, but like any muscle, it needs to be trained, strengthened, and challenged to grow. Most people don't realize that their thoughts, beliefs, and habits are not fixed. They are shaped by what they repeatedly do. Just like a body that becomes stronger through exercise, your mind becomes sharper, more resilient, and more capable through consistent effort. But if you don't train it, if you don't push it beyond its comfort zone, it weakens, just like an unworked muscle. Every time you challenge yourself to think bigger, learn something new, or push through discomfort, you are strengthening your mind. Growth doesn't come from staying in familiar territory. It comes from stretching beyond what you think you're capable of. The more you push yourself, the more mental endurance you develop. You begin to see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities to grow. You develop the ability to stay focused, to problem solve, to stay disciplined, even when motivation fades. But just like a muscle, your mind can also deteriorate if it's not used. If you feed it negativity, surround yourself with limiting beliefs, and avoid challenges, it becomes weak, it becomes sluggish, unmotivated, and fearful of change. You start making excuses, doubting yourself, and staying stuck in the same patterns. Your potential is there, but it remains untapped because you haven't conditioned your mind to push past its self-imposed limits. Training your mind isn't just about reading books or learning new skills. It's about how you handle adversity. Do you give up when things get hard, or do you keep pushing? Do you allow fear to control you, or do you take action despite it? Every time you face a challenge, your mind has a choice: shrink from it or rise to it. Those who build mental strength choose to rise again and again until resilience becomes their default state. Discipline is the ultimate mental workout. The ability to do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it, is what separates those who succeed from those who struggle. People who master their minds don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits, consistency, and an unshakable commitment to growth. They understand that mental toughness isn't about being fearless. It's about acting despite fear. It's about choosing progress over comfort, pushing through challenges instead of avoiding them, and refusing to let temporary setbacks define their future. Just like you wouldn't expect to lift heavy weights without training, you can't expect to achieve greatness without strengthening your mind. Every day is an opportunity to train it, to challenge yourself, to rewire your thoughts, to develop the discipline that leads to success. The stronger your mind, the stronger your life. If you want to achieve extraordinary results, start by building the mental strength that will carry you through any challenge. Because at the end of the day, success isn't just about what you do, it's about how strong your mind is when it matters most. Every single day you wake up is a gift. Yet most people treat it like a routine, something ordinary, something that can be taken for granted. They move through their day on autopilot, assuming they have unlimited time, assuming that tomorrow will always be there. But the truth is, time is slipping away whether you use it or waste it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't luck, talent, or background. It's what they choose to do with their time. And the only time you have control over is today. Opportunities don't wait. Dreams don't build themselves. Progress doesn't happen by accident. Every major success, every breakthrough, every transformation begins with a decision to act in the present. The people who achieve greatness don't wait for motivation, they don't wait for the right moment, and they don't make excuses. They understand that every action they take today is either moving them forward or keeping them stuck. They don't waste time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. They take control of the only thing they can right now. It's easy to say, I'll start tomorrow. It's easy to tell yourself that you'll take that risk, chase that goal, or make that change when you feel more ready. But tomorrow isn't promised, and waiting is a trap. There will always be a reason to delay, always be an excuse to hold back. The question is, how much longer are you willing to wait? How many days will you let slip by before you finally take action? Because every day that passes is a day you will never get back. The most successful people in the world live with urgency. They treat every day as if it's their last, because one day it will be. They don't waste time on things that don't matter. They don't let fear control them. They don't let distractions steal their focus. They wake up with a purpose, they set their intentions, and they make sure that by the time they go to bed, they have done something to move their life forward. Making today count doesn't mean you have to accomplish everything at once. It doesn't mean you have to make massive leaps overnight. It means doing something, anything, that pushes you in the right direction. It means taking the first step, building momentum, and refusing to let the day pass without progress. It means making choices that align with the life you want, not the habits that hold you back. No one knows how much time they have left, but everyone has today. And today is enough. Enough to start, enough to change, enough to take control of your future. Stop waiting, stop hesitating, stop assuming there will be more time. Take action now, make decisions now, do something now. Because when you do, you'll realize that success, happiness, and fulfillment aren't waiting for you in the future. They are built in the moments you choose to own today.